Hey there and welcome back to the channel. It's Bryson with Dimes for Dollars here, and in today's hunt I have another 2-box penny hunt for you. Hunt number 65, boxes 135 and 136. Went ahead and popped the top of this first box just to see if we had any enders, and unfortunately it doesn't look like there's anything on this side, but as for the other side it's yet unknown, so I'll flip it over, we'll check that side. If there's anything I'll definitely be bringing you back, otherwise I'll bring you back on our first find. Alright, well I flipped it over, and while we don't have any wheat scent enders, we do have an older Canadian scent here from 1964. So that's going to be a young head scent. Besides that, nothing stands out, so let's get started on roll number 1. Roll number 6, and we got our first wheat scent of the hunt, a 1955 from Philadelphia. 2 rolls later, and we got our first find from the 40s, a 1942 out of Denver. Roll 16, and we have wheat scent number 3. This one's going to be a 1948 from San Francisco. Roll 18, and we got 2 more wheat scents here. One up front is going to be a 1946 from Philadelphia. And wheat scent number 5 back here, second one of the roll. That one's going to be a 1955 from Denver. Very next roll, and we have another 1946, also out of Philadelphia. Roll 23, and we got that old Canadian scent ender here, 1964. And there's Queen Elizabeth on the obverse. Roll number 29, and we got wheat scent number 7 now, a 1954 from San Francisco. 2 rolls later, and we got 2 more wheat scents. The one up front is going to be a 1947 from San Francisco. And the second wheat scent of the roll, and this one's going to be a 1956 out of Denver. Roll 39, and we have a 1944 this time from San Francisco. Just a few rolls later, and we have another 1944, also out of San Francisco. 7 rolls into box 2, and we have the first wheat scent of the second box, a 1946 out of San Francisco. Very next roll, and we've got another one, a 1941 this time, out of Denver. Roll 24 now, and we've gone nearly half a box without another find, but we finally have a wheat scent here, and it's got some really interesting toning to it, 1956 out of Denver. Very next roll, and we've got a 50s wheat scent, a 1958 out of Denver. Next roll again, and we have another 1958, also out of Denver. 2 rolls later, and we have another 50s wheat scent, a 1957 from Denver. Very next roll, and we don't have a wheat scent this time, but we have an interesting find nonetheless. We have a Counterstamp coin, 1972 Denver is the date, and as you can see there's JFK on the right there, and of course Lincoln on the portrait here. This was most likely part of a set. At some point they actually made these sets of the similarities between JFK and Lincoln's death. It's a really interesting read. I've read it before. There's just a lot of similarities between the two of them. So I recommend you check it out sometime if you're interested. It's a really cool little bit of information they have there. I'm going to add that up to the board, and we've got 21 rolls left to go. 2 rolls later, and we're going to have our first pre-40s find of the hunt, a 1930 from San Francisco. 4 rolls later, and we have another 30s find, a 1934 this time, out of Denver. 12 rolls from the end of the hunt, and we have another 40s find. This one's going to be a World War II era coin, 1945, out of Denver. 7 rolls from the end of the hunt, and we've hit a little hot streak here. We got another 30s wheat scent, a 1937 Philadelphia, not in half bad shape. Let's take a look at the reverse. And yeah, that's a pretty nice looking coin. I'll have to check if it upgrades the album, but I'll do that at the end of the hunt. We got 7 rolls left to go. Well, another hunt's in the books, and again we have a bunch of really nice finds. We have 37 S Minute Memorial cents, along with 8 Canadian cents, the oldest one being this 1964 with a laureate portrait. We had this one Counterstamp coin, 1972 from Denver with a JFK Counterstamp. It's the first of that kind that I've found. We got 8 shiny copper cents, with one really nice one here. I'll be careful not to touch it too much, but that's a 74 Denver, and that is a really nice looking one. Might even flip it up. We got 8 50s wheat cents, along with 10 from the 40s, and 3 30s. A 1934 Denver, a 37 Philadelphia, and a 1930 out of San Francisco. Unfortunately, none of these 30s finds are going to be new additions or upgrades. We already have some pretty nice ones in the books, but it's always a nice hunt when you can get a pre-40s find, and we got 3 of them. As for the hunt, though, that's going to do it. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.